Good morning, students. In the previous class, we have discussed about the different types of instruments used for ammeters and voltmeters. So, what are the different types of instruments? Those are PMMC instrument, MI instrument, and the third one is electrodynamometer type instruments. So, in that first one, PMMC means permanent magnet moving coil instrument. This is used only for measuring DC quantities, that is either DC current or DC voltage. That is the only drawback. And next one, MI instrument. Under MI instrument, MI can be used for both AC as well as DC. And the different types of MI instruments are, first one is attraction type and the second one is repulsion type. So the attraction type, there will be the attraction between the moving coil, that is the coil will be placed, the coil will be attracted towards the pole, and next that oval shape will be attracted towards the magnetic field, so it is called attraction type. And in the second one, repulsion type, there will be similar poles will be placed on both the vanes, so that whenever it is energized they will be repelling each other, so it is called repulsion type instrument. In PMMC, the scale is uniform because theta deflection is directly proportional to the current flowing through the instrument. So the scale is uniform, whereas for MI instrument, the scale theta is directly proportional to I square. So that means the deflection is directly proportional to the square of the current. So the scale is non-uniform there. So those two we have discussed in the previous classes. So in the today's class, we shall discuss about the electrodynamometer type instrument. So this electrodynamometer type instrument is used to measure both AC as well as DC. This electrodynamometer type is called as transfer instrument. So what is transfer instrument first of all? So transfer instrument means it is calibrated for DC. What is the meaning of calibration? So calibration means finding error, and you need to modify that error and you need to make it to the zero position, nullify that error. So that is nothing but the calibration. So the instrument which is calibrated over DC and it is used for AC, measuring AC quantities without any modifications. Then it is called transfer instrument. So this electrodynamometer instrument is an example of transfer instrument. So we shall now discuss about the construction. So as I told you now, the electrodynamometer type is a transfer instrument. What is the transfer instrument? So transfer instrument is one which is calibrated with a DC source and used without any modifications for AC measurements. So such type of transfer instruments will have same accuracy for AC and DC measurements. So if you are using for DC and if you want to use for AC, then there will not be any modifications and there will be the accuracy will be same. Now coming to the construction of electrodynamometer type instrument. So here you can see the construction. So it consists of, so these are the coils. These two are fixed coils. This one and this one both are fixed coils. Whereas in the middle one, this one is the movable coil. This one is the movable coil. Fixed coils means they will not be moving, as we know that. And moving coil, it will be moving in the field, magnetic field. So here, what is the field produced? These fixed coils will act as the magnets and the moving coil will act as the coil which will be placed in the magnetic field. So whenever current is flowing through the instrument, what happens is the fixed coils gets energized and magnetic field is produced. This magnetic field will cut the movable coil, and so that there will be EMF induced and there is a force exerted by the moving coil. Because of that force, this scale will be deflected. So that is about the working principle. So coming to the construction, what are the different parts here? So it consists of two fixed coils. We can say that a fixed coil divided into two equal parts. And one movable coil and one moving coil, and there is a pointer which moves over the scale, and also here on the movable coil there are hair springs. There are springs for providing the spring control, for providing the spring control. And the damping here you can use is air friction damping. You can use here is air friction damping. So this is about the damping. Construction this this can be used for as an ammeter or voltmeter mainly, and this can be used as a wattmeter by making some arrangements, like here you can connecting the load here, small resistance will be added. So by making some changes you can use this electrodynamometer type for a use as a wattmeter. So this is the construction. Next, coming to the working principle, as I told you, whenever this is energized, the fixed coils will becomes, whenever current is flowing in the instrument, the fixed coils will become energized, and because of that energizing, then magnetic field is produced. Because of that magnetic field, it exerts a force on the movable coil, and because of that force, there is a pointer will be, the pointer starts deflecting. So this is about the working principle. And what is this is for DC. And coming for AC, AC will be having both the positive as well as negative cycles. So for positive cycles in one direction, the pointer will be moving in one direction. Whenever the current is reversed, the magnetic field will also be reversed, and the current through the moving coil will also be reversed. So there is no change even if the cycle changes. Even if the cycle changes, there is no change in the deflecting torque produced. So that is one main advantage of this instrument. So here once again I am explaining you working principle. Fixed coil as well as moving coil are in series. Fixed coil and moving coil are in series. As they are in series, whenever the direction of current in the moving coil changes, in the fixed coil changes, then the current in the moving coil also changes. So that the direction of magnetic field changes, the direction of current in the moving coil also changes. So that means there is an unique torque. The torque on the moving coil will not change, rather it will be unidirectional. The torque will be unidirectional only. Okay. So this is about the work dynamometer type instrument, electrodynamometer type instrument. Now coming to the advantages. So what are the advantages here? So first one is it can be used for AC as well as DC measurement. So it can be used for AC as well as DC measurements. Second one, it is easy in construction. It is easy in construction wise, it will be easy. And next third one, the instrument is free from hysteresis losses. There will not be hysteresis losses, will be reduced, and the scale will be uniform and lightweight. Disadvantages are the cost is high. And next one, errors can cause due to friction changes in temperature. And because of low power factor, large errors occurs in this type of instruments. And there should be always shielding provided, because external magnetic field will cause the deflection change. That means because of external magnetic field, the deflection will be varying. So to overcome that, there should be always a shielding. It should be kept under a shielding. That means under some box type environment, so that the other magnetic field will not affect the current instrument reading. Okay. This is one. So the shielding should be must and should be it is used. So that is one disadvantage here. So this is about the electrodynamometer type instrument. So till now we have seen the different types of instruments. So what are they? PMMC instrument, MI instrument, electrodynamometer type instruments. So these instruments can be used as both ammeter as well as voltmeter. So what is an ammeter? Ammeter means the instrument which is used to measure the current. And what about the resistance of ammeter? What about the resistance? The resistance should always be small. The resistance of ammeter should always be small, and it is always connected in series in the circuit. That we all know that, right? And voltmeter will be having, we should have high resistance. Should have high resistance, and it is connected in parallel in the circuit. So this is about the voltmeter. Suppose you have an ammeter of 0 to 2 amperes range, and you want to extend the range of that ammeter to 10 amperes. 0 to 2 amperes you have the rating. That ammeter you need to use it for the 0 to 10 amperes reading. So how you can, that means you need to extend the range of the instrument. That you can do it by the following method. So here, range extension of instruments means you can extend the range of ammeter and voltmeter. For ammeter, whenever you want to extend the range of ammeter, you want to use here shunts. So what are the shunts? Shunts are nothing but they are used for extension of ammeter. The shunt is a small resistance like a strip having minimum temperature coefficient. And is connected in parallel with ammeter whose range is to be extended. So as we all know that what is the resistance of an ammeter, how will the resistance should be? So it should be less, right? So the resistance of an ammeter should be always less. In order to reduce that resistance till lower than that resistance, so what should you need to do? You can place another resistance in parallel to that resistance. So if you place a low resistance in parallel to the present resistance, then total resistance will be reduced. So in order that, so you are providing here shunts. So shunt is a small resistance which is connected in parallel, with the ammeter whose range is to be extended. So likewise, now you can imagine, for to extend the range of an voltmeter, what you need to do? You need to connect some resistance in series with the voltmeter. Whereas here for the shunts, you will be connecting a resistance in parallel with the ammeter. So here you are using a small resistance in parallel with the ammeter, whereas in case of voltmeter, high resistance in series with the voltmeter. That is called is nothing but multiplier. So multiplier is a resistance, is a high resistance connected in series with the voltmeter. To which you need to extend the range. Okay, this is about the multiplier. So we can see the circuit diagram for the shunt. So what is a shunt? So shunt is a resistance which is used to extend the range of an ammeter. So how you can connect? Now you can observe this is the circuit diagram of the shunt, range of extension of ammeter. So here this is the basic ammeter. Now you want to increase the range of this ammeter. So to increase this range of the ammeter, you need to connect a resistance in parallel to the ammeter. So this resistance is nothing but called as shunt. What about the resistance of this? How it will be? It should be always low. Now the current flowing through the circuit is total current is I. This total current gets divided into ISH for RSH and IM for the ammeter. So here IM is the current flowing through the ammeter and ISH is the current flowing through the shunt, and I is the total current. That means here these two branches are in parallel. So the voltages across these two branches should remain same. So by applying that voltage equation, you will be getting the equation What is RSH value? So this RSH value is nothing but Rm divided by M minus 1. So RSH is the shunt resistance, Rm is the meter resistance, that is ammeter resistance, and M is the multiplying factor. So M is the multiplying factor. M is equal to total current divided by the ammeter current, by the meter current. So I divided by Im, that is equal to 1 plus Rm divided by RSH. So this is the main formula which you need to remember. RSH is equal to Rm divided by M minus 1. So Rm is the meter resistance and M is the multiplying factor, which is equal to I divided by Im. I is the total current and Im is the meter current. So M is equal to I divided by Im. So this is about the range extension of ammeter. Now, so if you want to use this ammeter for different ranges, so 0 to 2 amperes, if you connect it for one terminal, you want to use for 0 to 2 amperes, another terminal 0 to 5 amperes, another terminal 0 to 7.5 and another 0 to 10. So for that you need to use multi-range ammeters. For that you need to use multi-range ammeters. So multi-range, in the name itself it is indicating multi-range means you need to have multiple shunts. You need to have multiple shunts. So shunt is nothing but a resistance connected in parallel with the meter. So if you connect multiple resistance in parallel to the basic ammeter, then it becomes multi-range ammeter. The formula remains the same as usual. So that is nothing but R1 is equal to Rm divided by M1 minus 1, R2 is equal to Rm divided by M2 minus 2. Where M1 means I divided by I1 and M2 means I divided by I2. So likewise this will be continuing. Im1, Im2. So now next, range extension of voltmeter. So as I told you, range extension of voltmeter can be done by using multipliers. So what is a multiplier? Multiplier means it is a high resistance connected in series to the voltmeter. So this RS is the high resistance which is connected in series to the voltmeter, then it is called range extension of voltmeter. This is called a multiplier. And for the multiplier, RS is equal to Rm into M minus 1. Whereas in case of shunt, RSH is equal to Rm divided by M minus 1. Okay, you can remember it very easily, and this formula is also very much easy. This is useful for your GATE or any competitive exams also. This formula will be very much useful. So please remember this formula very much. RS is equal to Rm into M minus 1, where M is equal to V divided by Vm. V is the total voltage, Vm is the meter voltage across the voltmeter. Whereas for the shunt, M is equal to I divided by Im. So this is the range extension of voltmeter. So if you want to extend this voltmeter for different ranges, that is multiple ranges, what you need to do? You need to have different multipliers, several multipliers, so these are the several different multipliers. These are connected in series to the voltmeter. So you can get 4 different voltmeter ranges. So R1 is equal to V1 by Im minus Rm and R2 is equal to V2 by Im minus Rm. So by substituting these formulas you can get the readings. Now we shall solve one example. So here there is an example. What is this example? A moving coil ammeter reading up to 1 ampere has a resistance of 0.02 ohms. How could this instrument be adapted to read current to 100 amperes? So that means the moving coil ammeter reading is up to 1 ampere. So that 1 ampere, from this the given data, we can write out the given data first. So what is this? Has a resistance of 0.02 ohms. That means this is the ammeter resistance. This is the ammeter resistance, that is Rm value. So given Rm is equal to 0.02 ohms, whereas the current Im, the current through the ammeter, meter current Im is equal to 1 ampere, and it should be increased to 100 amperes. That means the total current should be 100 amperes. You need to make it to 100 amperes. So I is equal to, from the given data you need to know the total current is equal to Im is equal to 1, and the total current I is equal to 100. Rm is equal to 0.02, and you need to find the value of RSH. RSH you need to find. So what is the formula for RSH? So RSH is nothing but Rm divided by m minus 1. So what is m? M is equal to I divided by Im. So first find out what is multiplying factor. So multiplying factor m is equal to I divided by Im. What is I? I is equal to total current, that is 100 divided by 1, that is 100. So after calculating multiplying factor, calculate the resistance RSH. So RSH is equal to Rm divided by m minus 1. Rm value is already given, 0.02 divided by 100 minus 1, that is equal to 0.0002201 ohms. So if you observe, the value is very much small. So always I told you the ammeter resistance should always be very small. So you can observe that, you can note here the answer is very much small. Okay, now we shall solve another example for voltmeter. So here given a moving coil voltmeter reading up to 20 millivolts has a resistance of 2 ohms. So here 2 ohms is nothing but the meter resistance. Given voltmeter resistance Rm is equal to 2 ohms, and the full scale reading, a moving coil voltmeter reading up to 20 MV. So 20 MV is the full scale voltage of the voltmeter, Vm. Vm is equal to 20 MV, that is equal to 0.02 volts. M means milli. Milli means into 10 power minus 3, that is 20 into 10 power minus 3 means it is equal to 0.02 volts. Next, voltage to be measured, that means you need to increase it to 300 volts. So you are increasing it to 300 volts means that is total voltage V is equal to 300 volts. And you need to find the resistance which is to be added in series to the voltmeter, that is RSE. Now first find out what is the multiplying factor. So what is multiplying factor? M is equal to total voltage V divided by meter voltage Vm. So that is equal to M is equal to V divided by Vm. V is equal to 300. 300 by 0.02, that gives 15,000. 15,000. Now next you can calculate the RSE. So RSE is nothing but Rm into m minus 1. That is equal to 2 into 1500 minus 1, that is nothing but 29,998 ohms. Now if you observe the resistance, here it is very much large. So voltmeter, as I told you, voltmeter should have a large resistance connected in series. So this is the high resistance, the value is very much high, whereas in case of ammeter the resistance will be very much low. So you can now observe the reading itself here. Okay, this is about the range extension of voltmeter. So these problems are very important, students. So these are very much useful for solving your competitive exams also. So I am again repeating the formulas. RSH is equal to Rm divided by m minus 1, whereas RSE is equal to Rm into m minus 1. Okay, whereas for m means there it is I divided by Im. Here m is equal to V divided by Vm. Okay, these are simple formulas, but these are very useful formulas also. Okay, keep remembering these formulas. Okay, in the next class we shall discuss about the remaining topics. Okay, thank you.